to Goal In International, our weekly Yap session. I got Brandon here with me. Welcome, Brandon. How are you?
Good. How are you, Johnny?
Chilling. Liverpool won somehow, so I can't complain.
That's right. Somehow.
Honestly, I guess we could start with the Champions League, but Liverpool, I don't think deserved that win. They've been looking a little shaky, and somehow still pulling through, whether it be by ref decisions or just grit,
I don't know if it's ref. I mean, that was
not the Champions League. It was the game before, right?
I think that was a handball, and if they didn't get out of that game with a win, that would be as unfortunate as you could probably say. I saw a thing and I was talking about it. Burnley had 89 completed passes.
The whole game.
In 90 minutes, dude. 89.
Yeah, it's crazy.
89 passes in 90 minutes.
It's not even a pass a minute.
And that's 11 players on the field.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know how,
from that perspective,
that's the epitome of parking the bus.
Right.
They had zero intention of getting anything besides 1 point.
And even that didn't work.
And but that's what I'm saying. I was looking at it, and because that intrigued me, and I'm like, this has to be one of the lowest ever, right?
Was it?
So I looked back, and it was in the top 5 leagues. It's the 4th lowest.
The 4th, okay.
But Liverpool is in there 3 times in the top 5. I think it was Forest in 2023, and I don't remember the others, but it was 3 times against Liverpool.
That's crazy.
That happened. But I mean, I guess it makes sense considering.
That's the type of team you park the bus against.
Before Klopp. Klopp.
That was my second question. What era Liverpool was it?
It was a Klopp era.
Okay.
But considering how high press and how quickly they'd win the ball back, it makes sense.
Right.
Why they were never doing that, and Forest at that time was not the team that they are now.
This is true.
And Burnley is a much worse team than Forest was at that time too.
Also true.
So you could see where that's coming from. But it's just when I was looking at that, and in my head, and as I'm watching the game, it has to be very low. They were just never on the ball.
Right.
And then you look at it at the end, it's 89 passes.
It
doesn't even sound right.
Right. It sounds like I feel like I couldn't get that on FIFA if I tried.
It's impossible. What I mean? Even between the center backs, you'd get 40 passes.
Right. Exactly. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
So when you look at it like that, it's just
wild.
It just didn't make sense.
So circling back, this Liverpool squad currently, do you think it's just finding their rhythm, or you can't say that they're playing back as they're winning and grinding out results, but you can't say that they're playing good either. They definitely looked way more fluid last season.
And that's what's crazy about it. I think it's they haven't looked good for 90 minutes. And they've won every single game. They haven't even dropped a point.
Right.
They've won every single game. They have, I think 3 or 4 goals already in the 90 plus.
Yeah.
I think all the winners are 88 plus so far.
So far, most of them, yeah.
But we always say it, when teams come back, when they're down big and they come back, or when they win late, it's that's the spirit of a champion. And
True.
That's kind of what it is, right? You could say it's lucky, and you get a penalty out of nothing on, what was it, Sunday, whatever it was. And that could be luck, right? But it could also be they were the only team going after the result.
Right. It makes sense.
And
you could tell one wanted it more.
3 point something expected goals, they mauled Burnley.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. If they didn't win that game, it would be a terrible draw.
Right. No, true.
But going back to the Atletico game, that's a tough game. No matter when you play Atletico, it's always a tough game.
You already know they're going to fight the whole time. And
Exactly. No matter if they're down 4-0, down 1-0, it's going to be the same attitude across the board. They get back in the game off a very weird goal that Llorente scored, who has 7 goals in the Champions League, and 4 of them are at Anfield.
That's crazy.
So it's just the other day I was looking.
Right, I remember the last one he scored was knocked us out.
Knocked you out, yeah. So I was reading about that, and I was like, that's very weird, because he just never scores either. And then Van Dijk gets a goal late. Again, deserved goal. I think Liverpool deserved to in that game. Isak played 65-ish minutes.
Right. Looked okay.
Looked okay. He's going to take.
Okay now too.
He's going to take. I think he played very well in the second half. He'll always be bashed until he starts scoring.
Right, of course. That's just the climate of the game currently.
And yeah, exactly. That's just the new media. Everybody will be oh wow, this guy hasn't scored or assisted yet.
Dude, they were calling what was the United striker that they just got? Sesko. They were calling him Seskafender before he even arrived. You know what I mean?
They already have the 007.
Right. And it's dude, you just start looking. Victor, the same thing at Arsenal. It's the current climate. Honestly, I kind of blame Ronaldo and Messi for it, because they set the standard so stupid high.
And it was they were just scoring every single game.
Right. Now, if players don't do that, you're kind of considered a flop. You know what I mean? If you don't hit the ground running, scoring 5 goals in your first 6 matches. Like,
And that was the like, oh, Ronaldo was only bought for whatever 80 million at the time, and these guys are getting bought for 80 million now.
Right.
And like,
right, and they're bench players.
and they're bench
now,
players.
right?
Like, Ekitike, he was bought for whatever he was bought
Like
for.
60 something, 70 something.
A lot of money, and they're like, he has like 0 goals in the Champions League, doesn't have a cap for France, and that's who you compare it to. But there's just like way
Neymar
different
for that.
times.
Neymar, PSG
Yeah, and
for
even like the Ronaldo thing, like Ronaldo, if he was bought at this time, like in this age, in his prime,
Oh,
what
forget
would he
it.
go for?
300 mil
Yeah, right?
player,
So, like,
easy, yeah.
And Messi, same thing. Like if he was to leave Barca when he was in his prime, this year or last year, like
Ridiculous.
those
amount,
guys
right.
don't have a price on them. Like
Right,
it would
right,
be
right.
insane to try to get it. And it's just those are 2 players that you can never really compare to anything because
Agreed.
Ronaldo signed for Madrid for 80, I think, and got sold
The first time,
to
right.
Juve for 100, like
Right.
10 years later.
Right, right. At 30 something, right.
So those are just
Unheard of.
anomalies that just
Yeah.
never happen. Right?
Agreed.
But I think Arsenal was very good in their Champions League debut.
They
And
did look good.
I've said this, I think I said this on the show, but I've definitely said it other places. Arsenal, I think, for me, are a team that has a better chance of winning the Champions League than they do.
You did mention
the
that
league,
last
right?
time. Yeah. And I could totally see that. They definitely seem more built for Cup
Yeah,
than
they're,
to
I
be
think,
like.
over 2 games.
Overall's what, like 15, 16 games in the Champions League?
Yeah.
You know, like
but
that's
when
all
you
you have
get
to
to
worry
the
about.
knockouts, even now in the group stage, they'll qualify. What is it? I think 16 teams qualify or whatever it is.
The first 8 go to round of 16.
And then the next 16 go to the
Go-
playoff, right?
right.
They'll obviously be in one of those things.
I
Like
think so,
they're
too.
just good
Unless they
enough
have
to be.
a complete fall off,
It's
which
gonna be-
could happen, but I don't see it.
It's just very
happening.
tough for them not to be in
Yeah.
the top 24 teams. in
Right,
the
right,
Champions
right,
League.
right.
And then once you get to the knockout, I think it's going to be super difficult to beat Arsenal over 2 games.
I can see that. I can see that.
Especially if they can win the first game or if they get an early lead. They're just
That's the
very
thing.
good
Arsenal
defensively.
are very much like a confidence team. So like, if they play well that first leg and get that confidence in, I don't think there's a lot of teams that could like really
Yeah.
put a stop to
And
it.
if they win the first game and they sit back and defend in the second game, they're comfortable doing that. And they're,
Right,
they're
right,
comfortable
right,
defending.
right.
They do it
I
against
mean, they
big.
have like 8 starting
Yeah,
defenders.
I mean,
you know what
they subbed in Mosquera and he's been playing very well because Saliba's been hurt. But when they can be organized and defend, they're comfortable even against the big teams doing that. So I think that was that when I said that earlier. And then they're playing the way they are. I think it's gonna be very tough to beat Arsenal in the Champions League. In the league, if you tie some of those games, those are points
Right,
dropped
right,
where you
right.
can't get back. In
Right,
the Champions
right.
League, you could pass with 2 draws.
Right,
Like,
right, 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 right.
You go to penalties and you win.
Yeah, it makes
right?
sense,
So
right.
It's just
And
very.
I
different.
think that suits their team
Correct.
better too, because I don't think they have like the mental. I don't know if it's mental, but like the bandwidth to like really see out every game for
Mm-hmm.
38 games over the course of a season. It's a different kinds of pressure, you
And,
know.
and it's just like you can't afford to drop points,
Right,
especially
right.
when Liverpool's winning games, when City's winning games, and like all these teams
City's
are.
been looking good this year.
Yeah, they-
well, hit or
They,
miss, but
they started out whatever, and then they beat United convincingly. They won against.
but that's the thing with City too, is because like City can play 2, 3, 4 months
You
terrible.
don't know what City you
Right,
get, right?
and then they'll just click one day and they'll go 35 games unbeaten and win the league from like 13 points behind.
Yeah, so-
you know, like so it's
And
hard, it's hard to quantify
That's
that.
why I'm saying, like, as Arsenal, you got to be careful with both, especially both those teams.
Right, and all the teams around you have also look at Tottenham looks good.
Tottenham,
you know what I mean?
they
Xavi
have-
Simmons is a baller.
Tottenham has 4 clean sheets. Like we
Right.
talk about Arsenal's defense, Tottenham
Right,
hasn't really.
and
considered.
everybody's been sleeping on
Yeah.
Tottenham. Nobody's really been talking
only-
about Tottenham, focusing on Arsenal.
They played well in their Champions League. They should have won by more than 1 goal. The game for me was the Juve game was insane. Juve Dortmund. It was
Yeah, I only saw the result. I didn't see the.
0-0 halftime, and then there's 8 goals in the second half, and it was like insane goals.
That's what we live for in this sport, though. You know what I
And
mean?
Vlahovic
Like,
has been a disaster in Juve, and he goes in and completely changed the game. I think he scored 2 goals. He had an assist in the 96th minute. He was very good, but he scores a goal in the 92nd, 93rd, and then he gives the assist in 96. And the VAR is checking the goal in the 96th minute, like after everyone's already celebrated, and like that's just where you die if you're like a sports fan.
right,
or, you know,
it's you got to pause the emotion.
like
and
all your
pause
adrenaline
everything.
has just
Right.
been
It gets
expelled
sapped.
out of you,
Right,
and then
right.
it's like if that goal was disallowed, like even if you're not a Juventus fan, you're
Still
like, wow,
deflate.
that sucks.
Right,
Like,
deflates everything.
you would have been,
Yeah, I agree.
you would have been pissed off, right? Like,
agree.
they would have been a mood destroyer. But that was a great game, and then we got to talk about Benfica.
Yeah, that was the game they should not have lost.
So they're up
Lost,
2-0.
Right.
Give Karabakh their first ever win in the Champions League. Give an Azerbaijani team their first ever
Shout
win.
out.
With a bunch of dudes who used to play in the lower levels in Portugal. The guy who scored the second goal, Duran, his name, he was playing in the Açorian League.
Açorian.
A regional
wow.
Açorian
Oh,
league.
wow.
So that's how
That's
crazy that
crazy.
result is, right?
That's like a player from like Regional de Braga,
Yeah,
like
it's-
scoring against
it's
Benfica.
like
That's wild.
an amateur player.
Right, right.
And then you're playing in the Champions League at Stade Luge being down, and you score a goal. Then he must be,
Scenes.
yeah, he must be living it,
Scenes.
right?
That made his whole year.
But of course, that leads to Bruno Lage being fired because
Rightfully or wrongfully?
if I'm a Benfica fan, I would say rightfully. As a Porto fan,
But objectively, like no fan.
no
like,
bias,
Just from the outside.
I would have fired him.
Right. Okay.
Especially considering
Because it seemed like they were waiting for the first opportunity to
correct.
fire him.
But I think it stems from in the league they won the first 2 games. They didn't look good. No, they won the first 3 games, but they did not look good.
True.
They won every game, I think, by they won one
by
game
a
by
goal?
2,
Right.
But the other ones they won by 1, and they kind of scraped them out. They tied with playing a man up for 60 minutes against Santa Clara at home just 5 days on Friday, and then you go into Tuesday and or
Our game
Wednesday, whenever
should
it
be
is.
winning.
A game you should be winning comfortably.
Right.
Let's be honest, right? And
The
then you
levels
go
between Benfica and Karabakh. No disrespect to Karabakh.
exactly, but it's just a
Levels.
reality, right?
Right.
And you're up 2-0. You should
They were
you
at
should be
home,
winning
right?
the game.
If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
they're
right.
slightly.
Even worse.
You're at home. You should be winning the game. You're up 2-0. You should never be even drawing that game.
Right.
And you lose in the way they did, which was like not even a fluke. Like Karabakh played well. I think they played better than Benfica. They even hit the post when they were down. Trubin makes a couple good saves. That just can't happen, right? And when
That's the type of team Benfica has to shut down and shut out. And
when you're on the hot seat like that after you just had a miserable result a couple days prior,
right.
and you're
asking for it.
you're on a club like
Right.
that who can't really afford to be dropping points, especially considering the next Champions League game is at Chelsea. The one after that is at Newcastle.
Right.
You're going to be staring at a dim Champions League, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So-
Better course correct early, I guess, or as
Yeah.
early as you can, I guess.
But then you also have the political side on it. also.
Right. We were talking about that earlier.
So the president, the elections are coming up at in the middle of October or the end of October, which I think is an
That's also
absurd thing.
bonkers, right? I
Like,
agreed with you in the group chat with that.
So
too.
how are you
That's
going to have
bonkers.
an election after the market closes, and after you just wasted all this money?
Right.
When
With the
season-
last president wasted.
when the season
right.
just started, right?
Right,
So
right.
like, now you come in and you have to clean up this whole mess. If this coach that you just brought in, they just brought Mourinho in, if he's not the coach you want, you're gonna have to fire him. So you're paying.
And let's be real, Mourinho just got paid $9 million from
I was gonna
Fenerbahce
say- correct.
for being fired. Now Benfica, if they decide to fire him early, if things go wrong, you know that's going to be a high.
Correct.
A high
So you're paying
payout.
that. You're paying. You got to worry about the team, the makeup of the team. The new coach that you bring in is, will he like all these players? Will he not?
Right, and Mourinho's always been that kind of coach who's very decisive about his players. Like he'll take a look at you and be
Correct.
like, all right, you work, you don't work. Doesn't matter how good you were the season before. Look at Dele Alli at Tottenham. You know what I mean? Was a
He said-
baller.
yeah, he said he's not
He
gonna
went in
work
there for
here.
a month,
You're not gonna do it.
fell, and look at Dele Alli now. You know what I mean?
And I think it's just, but if we talk about Mourinho in 2025, I don't know if that was the solution to Benfica's problem. And they just signed 3 really good attacking players, and I don't know if you bring in a coach like that, will he get the best of them? Probably. I mean, he won everything.
Right, but you could also argue that like in Portugal with a team like Benfica, he doesn't have to be as defensive as he usually has
Correct.
been, especially compared to like the teams outside the big 3 or like a Braga or like
Yeah,
the ones
and-
on the cusp.
And
you
I
know,
think
like,
that's a good point, and Rui, who's not here, made the same point. And what I brought up to him was, on Fenerbahce, he had arguably the best team in the country, if not the second best team.
Right,
It was
right.
between them and Galatasaray.
which
And
I think they won last. season.
Galatasaray won last year, and Fenerbahce was 10 points off. So like, they weren't really close.
Right.
So you're talking about in the Portuguese league where Benfica is probably 1, 2, or 3. They were between one of those, however you want to look at it. They're kind of in the same boat that he was in Fenerbahce, right?
I could see that.
The Portuguese league is, I don't know how you want to compare it to the Turkish league in terms of
I
quality.
think they're very comparable.
Yeah, right?
honestly.
Yeah, I would
think
say they're
very
probably on the
comparable.
same level.
Both level of competition and even like the structure of like their big 3 and like
Correct. And
very
I think,
similar.
like, you expect the big teams in Turkey to beat the smaller teams like you do in Portugal. But will he get the best out of that team? I don't know, right?
Right. And now my question too is that like before, well, the reason why Turkey started to go so terribly for Mourinho is because he started to become more and more vocal about the federation,
Correct.
the referees, and now let's be real. Portugal, besides England, in my opinion, has the worst refs in the world. You know what I mean? So like,
pretty bad.
it's going to be very interesting to see how Mourinho reacts to that, or starts calling out like the league, or starts calling out certain refs. And like, I feel like Portugal has this habit of like being silent to its heroes. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah.
when they're like. So I feel like he'll get away with it a lot more in Portugal.
Yeah,
you know,
and-
which
and
could
like-
be both good or bad for Portuguese soccer, depending if he's right or not.
And
I
are you
guess,
going to
know?
ask him the
Like,
tough questions and press conferences, especially if the environment is heated like it's been, and you
Right.
have the elections coming up, and there are 3 games that lead up to the election are at Chelsea, at Porto, and at Newcastle. And if you don't get 3 good results there,
Right,
and your
right.
election is in the 2 weeks after, and then the week after,
It's not looking good.
what's going to happen? Like, are
Right,
you going
right.
to fire the coach
Right,
to
right.
save you're behind again?
With
Like,
a $9 million payout, right?
what is so? I think they're in a very tough spot. Again, if he wins, like, you don't even talk about that. No one cares.
Right. So this is going to be my next point. Like for Rui Costa, this is really a like high risk, high reward because
Yeah.
it's either he's going to look like a genius because he's the man who appointed Mourinho, who like went out to storm the league or whatever.
Correct.
Or it's going to be like, well, I did everything I could. I gave you a world class manager and we couldn't do anything. Like, what else can I do? You know what I mean?
So
like,
I think, and it's like speaking to a couple of Benfica fans, everyone's kind of on the same boat. Like, wow, it's Mourinho, but like, wow, like, is he the guy in 2025 to lead us to
right. And like I
So it
agree
could
with
go
that
really
too.
bad or it could go really well.
Right, and I agree with that too. And like, obviously, 2025 Mourinho was not the same special one that he used to be. That being said, I still do think he's like a level ahead for Portuguese soccer. And like, he's
he'll
easily the best coach in the league
Yeah.
right now. You know what I mean? Even though Porto's coach is doing very well, but like, he just has the name behind it. He has
Correct.
the aura. He has the PR. He has that's a real like global presence that Portuguese the Portuguese league hasn't had like somebody of that level in a long time.
He's going to be on a homecoming tour, though. He plays Chelsea, Porto, and Real Madrid within
Crazy.
the next 2 months.
Crazy.
So all he's missing is Inter in his Champions League run. But
What a start to
it'll
to his
be
career.
it'll be interesting to see what he does from there. Again, it's going to be the situation that Benfica's in terms of politically, and now bringing in like that figure is probably a position that they haven't been in a very long time.
Elaborate.
So, like you said, I think it's just the risk is so high, and you're paying this guy a ton of money, that like this president has thrown his last whatever into the fire, right?
Right, I can
Like,
see
this
that
is it,
totally.
like-
Yeah, right. It's either this works or he's
Yeah,
out.
and
right.
and I think he's feeling it, right? Like I think he knows.
I think so too. It's been what, like 2 years of Benfica calling him out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
And everyone talks about how they don't have a true footballing plan, and they buy all these players just to buy these
right.
players, and like
Mario said it pretty poignantly in our chat. Like Benfica kind of lost its heritage a little bit as a footballing institution compared
Yeah.
to like what you think of like the character of Benfica 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, they were buying these guys young and pumping them out and selling them over and winning leagues, right? And Spartan has gotten better, and you could give probably more praise to Spartan getting better than everybody else getting worse, even though like Porto was
Porto
historically
did get
bad.
real worse, right,
Porto was
right,
historically bad last year, but Spartan has been like
I mean, they've been
the
going
best.
since like their training ground got like
Raided,
invaded.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like they've gone from strength to strength from that point forward, and have
Yeah.
built strongly. You know what I mean? Like,
And they're 100% in their best era.
yeah,
Spartan.
1,000% for
That,
sure.
like-
Except for maybe like the 70s or
Well,
the 60s.
like since we've been alive,
Right,
that's
that for
100%
sure.
their
Right,
best
right.
era. The level of consistent success they haven't had since now. Like
Right, right.
even when they won the league in 2001 or whatever it was, 2000, like it was that, and that was kind of it.
And then they lost it to Boavista.
Yeah, and then like Boavista won it. But now they're in Champions League consistently. Last year they beat City. Like
Convincingly.
yeah,
Right.
they beat some. Oh no, they had a decent game against Arsenal, but like they're having good performances.
But even
and
the year
they're
before that, they beat Arsenal in the Europa League
in
with
the
that
Europa League.
loss
Yeah,
from
midfield,
Poch.
from Plot to midfield. So I
So
think
I agree with you on that. That they definitely, I would argue, not even argue, but like they've definitely gone from strength to strength. While like Benfica stagnated a little bit, and Porto went into that historic.
Yeah, it was a historic
run,
downfall,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But Porto looks like a whole team reborn currently compared.
it's very impressive to see, and like I mean, we're a month into season,
Right.
whatever. But it's just
But this is when you dictate the pace. is
it's
at
just
this time.
crazy to see like how much different everything is from the end of June when the club woke up to what they're doing now. in
Right. Look
terms
at the
of everything.
beginning of last season when the Mourinho was still there, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Crazy.
But it's been very
shift.
different, and I think they've been playing well. So hopefully they continue that. And I think the Portuguese league can really go down to those three teams just all the way to the end.
I hope so. I haven't seen a
It hasn't
three-horse
been
race.
it hasn't been
in-
like that in a long time.
Not in my lifetime, at least that I can remember.
It's going to be like now it'll kind of tell you what's going on because everyone starts to play in Europe.
Right. You can start to like suss out.
So you start having these 3-game weeks and start stuff like that. So who can hold up the best?
Right. And who has the depth to
And
go
everybody's going to get hurt. It's a big,
Right, exactly.
long season. So it's always interesting to see who holds up well. How about those guys? Well, those guys.
Oh man! I mean, I'm loving it personally. Like, I hate watch all the time, and I thrive off of the downfall. I saw a tweet today. It was like,
Oh,
you
I
were making
saw
fun
it.
of Charlie Kirk, and it was like, my name is Ruben Amorim, and I'm the head
So
coach.
they can arrest him.
Oh man!
But it's just, I think they're in big trouble. They have
Yeah.
Chelsea this weekend. Chelsea, and also, it's kind of been a disappointment. They've dropped.
Yeah, but I could have seen that happening because Chelsea, like we always say,
hangover.
like it's both the hangover and just the overbloating of a squad. You
I
know
also
what
don't
mean?
think they have any, like,
plan.
well, I don't think they've ever had, but their lack of like center backs, like a good center back, they don't have them. They've always
Right.
had like.
Well, it's because all they focus on is like speedy
Attacking-
wingsters
yeah,
or like
attacking
tiny
players,
little attacking midfielders.
So now
or-
they're playing with Chalobah. Like they went to Bayern Munich yesterday with Chalobah and.
They lost that game, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, they lost.
Right.
And it's like there's another young English dude, but like they lost 3-1, and Bayern was convincing. Bayern's been great, and Harry Kane just doesn't stop scoring goals.
Harry
and
Kane
assists.
things, right?
So I think he hasn't. I just saw 100. I think it was his 100th game or 99th
Bayern?
game, and he has like 112 goals and assists. Like he's just an unbelievable
right.
player.
Unbelievable player.
And Bayern is another team that I think they can, if they can add one more winger possibly in January, they're another team in the Champions League that are going to be very difficult
Who
to
do you
beat.
think they should go after?
I'm not sure.
Left or right? Let me ask you that.
Right,
first.
because Diaz
I mean,
has been
Diaz
playing on
is
the left,
looking
and he's been great.
Right,
Yeah.
he's looked great.
So they still have Olise, who played exceptional yesterday. So I think they just need another winger that can intertwine with those two guys. But like attacking
look
wise,
solid.
like you
Which
have Diaz, Kane, and Olise. It's like very.
It's a solid
it's a solid-
three,
yeah,
right?
Solid front three.
Facts.
Right?
And it's crazy too because I remember last year, more towards the beginning of the year, everybody was thinking Vincent Kompany was not cut out for the
it,
job, and like now, they look solid. You know, he looks
So-
like he's doing an okay job.
And then you also you always have the fact of like them and PSG. Can they take some games off in the league because they're that good? They're that good where they're going to be leading majority of the time. And I'm going to say yes, right? So
Right,
like
right.
they can manage to take some players off and not play everybody 60 games because
They're gonna have
they're going
to.
to win games, right?
Right.
So can you save these guys for the Champions League, especially in crunch time when it gets a little tougher?
I
and
mean,
you're playing
right,
that
because
kind of-
now you can afford to like.
yeah, it's still early in the season.
Right, exactly. And speaking of PSG, they also won
4-0.
4-0, looking solid.
As convincing as can be. It was interesting to see Atlanta's coach said after the game that he's watched a ton of PSG games over the last year, and everyone that sits back just gets demolished anyway. So he's like, just why not try to
Yeah,
attack
might as
again?
well, right,
So,
right.
I mean, they lost 4-0. So they
Right, but
just-
I appreciate
But he's
the
like, he's
gusto,
saying
though,
there's
you
like,
know?
there's no point of us sitting back. We're
Right,
gonna
if you're going to
concede.
lose
Like,
regardless,
they're
right.
just that good.
At
I
least
mean,
go fighting.
we
Right,
might as well
right.
try to score a goal and make it complicated,
that.
right? And I think too often, too many managers are scared of that. Like,
I
how
think
many
so, too.
times do you play PSG, and do you think you're going to get a result?
Right, not often.
Not often, right.
Look, who doesn't matter what team you
Like
are.
you look at your Champions League calendar, like Spartan's Champions League calendar, like you see PSG, even if it's at home, you're like, like maybe the best we could do is get a draw. Like if we play
Right,
really,
right,
really
right,
good,
right. You got to play them out of the park
And
just
you got
to get
to
a
like
draw.
you got to have your best day, and PSG's got to have like an okay day
Right, right.
for you to have a chance.
Or you just catch them off guard like Chelsea did.
Yeah,
in the,
right.
In
You
the,
catch
in the
you
Club
catch
World
one
Cup.
day late into the season, like that's
Right.
kind of
It
what
also
happens.
happens, right.
But they're just so good.
They do look well oiled, like just efficient.
And I think they're gonna just be there again at the end of the season because they're
I
gonna.
don't even
just
think they
start
had
to
like
win.
a crazy summer this year. Like I don't recall them buying too many
They
players,
bought,
if anybody. And they sold Donnarumma
Donnarumma, that's right.
to City. You know what I mean?
They,
Crazy.
They bought
Saudi
another.
money,
They
man.
bought
Jeez.
the center back from Bournemouth.
Oh right. Oh my God, what was his name? Not Houston. He went to Madrid.
Arbani or something like that.
Right.
Zarbani.
Zarbani.
They bought him, I mean, they have so many center backs, like good center backs, but they bought him also.
Good
But
to have cover, I guess.
I saw the last 2 games, Luis Enrique, have you seen that? It's taking a new approach to
I have
like
not,
watching
no.
the game. So he goes all the way up to the press box, to the
Okay.
VIP box, like in the manager's box, and he sits there and watches the first half, and he just takes notes.
Interesting.
And as it's at the top where you could see like a bird's eye view of the game. So they say he's doing it so he can fix like the tactics easier, and you can see where the players are, and it kind of gives you like American football coaching.
Right,
because,
right,
like,
right.
The offensive coordinators go up there and they look to what's
I
going
mean,
on.
if it's working, you know what I mean?
And I mean, like,
it's definitely a different perspective. Most coaches don't even think about.
Yeah, so he goes up there, watches, and then he's like on the phone the whole half with the assistant manager who's
Very
like
innovative,
talking.
I gotta say.
And he's talking and he's writing down notes, and in the second half he sits on the bench. And I mean, like, even if it wasn't working, he could afford it right now because they're just that good, right?
Right, that's true.
Like, if he was doing that and he had just got to United, right, and United was losing games, like,
Oh yeah, I forgot it. There would be a witch hunt, right? There would be a
they'd
witch
be like,
hunt.
what is this guy
Right.
doing in the stands when his team needs him on the
Right,
sideline?
right.
So,
But I mean, like at the end of the day, you gotta like respect the method because my man's won
Everything?
Well,
Besides the Club World
everything,
Cup?
but he's also won the treble because he won it with Barca too, right? Like,
he won the
so he's
he didn't win the treble with Barca, but he won.
didn't he win the Champions League that year?
I think it was Guardiola.
I know Guardiola did it too, but I thought he
In
did
15?
also.
Yes, he did. He did.
I
win
thought
in
he
15.
did also.
He did win in 15.
So like, not many coaches have won a treble, let alone a treble at 2 different clubs. You know what I mean? So like, maybe he can afford to be a
something
little
like
bit
that,
zany.
right? So
you know
like,
what I mean?
that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Like, imagine if somebody else like they'd be like, "What is this?"
imagine
guy
how
doing?
Mourinho was doing that.
Yeah, they'd be
You know
like,
what I mean?
"Get this guy
They would have
off.
hung him from Old Trafford. You know
Like,
what I mean?
Get him
Like,
out of here, right?
Right,
Get him
right.
out of town. So, but it's cool to see. Like, you want to see, and you know, the sport's always evolving, and
I mean, things like that is what evolves it. You know what I
right,
mean?
and like we spoke about
What
Mourinho.
better way to see the shape of your team than a bird's eye
the top.
view?
We spoke about Mourinho, and maybe he hasn't evolved as much as everybody else has in the past couple of years, but like Luis Enrique is kind of always looking for something to be
Constantly,
changing,
right.
and you know, it's working. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't see,
Yeah.
besides like this weird situation that they had with Donnarumma, like
Right,
that was
right,
very
right.
weird,
Which
like-
it felt like it came out of nowhere.
and I was gonna say like that just came out of nowhere, and it was like from one day to the next, like yeah, you're not
I
playing.
don't even remember what was it like a contract dispute. Like I don't even
I don't.
remember.
And again, like no one really understands, and then
Or
like
like
he
a
just
locker
said,
room bust up maybe.
and he's like, oh yeah, you're just not playing here no more. Like see you later.
But my thing is like I don't even recall them buying a replacement.
They bought Lucas Chevalier from Lille.
Oh, okay.
And he's like France's whatever backup now.
Upcoming, right.
And he's their goalie. But like, is he Donnarumma? Like Donnarumma.
Right,
is the best in the world.
Donnarumma's a generational.
Like Donnarumma just had some like 3 good saves against United the other day too. I mean, granted,
It's crazy. This just randomly, but this thought just popped into my head. Like Donnarumma and Tonali too. I'm gonna put him in there too. They're the type of players if they were around in the 90s, they would have been at Milan their whole
Their whole
career.
life.
Their whole career. They're that kind of player. Like Donnarumma became their starting keeper at like 17. You know what I mean? Like
when he left, the fans were throwing in like fake cash.
yeah, I remember that.
Like
I
monopoly
remember
money
that.
onto
Right.
the field
Yeah.
because he's taking PSG's offer. But again, like you said, they would just been there. Like he would have been Buffon.
Right.
There.
Right. Agreed. Same thing with Tonali. He would have been like the new Gattuso, who would have been there his whole career.
Well, Tonali was a weird situation because then when he gets to Newcastle, he's like, yeah, I want to go back to Italy.
Right. Well, from what because I remember I read about it, and supposedly he never even wanted to leave. It was just crazy money that
They
was
probably
offered.
had to have some sale to make up some money.
Right. That's what it was, which
and-
sucks for Milan fans too, because I wouldn't call myself a supporter, but like I like Milan. You know what I mean? And to see your talisman 19-year-old like future just get poached by Newcastle. You know what I mean? Not even like.
City or United.
Right, you know what I mean? Like it's got to sting just for him to go to Newcastle and get banned for a year. You know, like
that was
it's
crazy,
got to be a kick in the balls. You know what I mean? As a Milan fan,
I
and
agree.
it goes to show you the climate of soccer outside of the Premier League.
Yep.
Because like it doesn't matter how good you are, how historic your team is. If a Premier League club wants your player, chances are you're going to lose
gonna
that
take him.
player.
I mean,
right?
I'm not sure who said it. Somebody said it in the media the other day, and they were saying like, just Sunderland like came up and they
Right.
spent almost 200 million,
Crazy.
and it's like, how
Crazy.
do you compete in any other league?
can't.
Like,
You can't.
Like, you could be in the German league. You could be Dortmund, and you'll probably go up against Sunderland, and they've wasted more money. this
1,000%
season.
they have.
You know,
right.
like-
I feel like Dortmund probably doesn't even get a fourth of the budget that Sunderland
Yeah.
gets just for being in the Prem. And then, like,
Dortmund is a consistent Champions League team.
Right.
They've won every
Right.
10 years because Bayern dominates the league.
dude, how much do you think, like, a champion in Portugal makes?
No, not much.
Right, just like ballpark it, you know what I mean? Maybe what, like
know.
30 mil, 40
Yeah,
mil?
probably like, I was gonna
around
say like
there?
25,
You get
30.
100 mil just for making it to the Premier
playoffs,
League.
yeah, you-
right? It's
you win the
crazy,
playoff and you get 100
crazy.
mil.
Like everybody was having the whole hoopla about the Super League, but like we have a Super League. It's been around, you know what I mean, since the 90s.
All you really need to add is like Madrid and Barca.
Right, and it's complete.
And
You know what
like,
I mean? Like,
well, Juve is financially not where they used to be, but like those are the Super League, right?
Right,
We
right.
talk about that. But I think it was very interesting the other day on Sunday when you like recap the weekend and you see like United lost and then Højlund scores his first goal for Napoli.
right, Onana solid in
Onana-
goal.
Onana won the
right.
man of the match.
The Old Trafford curse, I'm telling you. Like I
Rashford-
tease Mario
Rashford
about
scores
it.
2
Like,
goals
right,
today,
right. I
like-
tease Mario about it, but like how many players before it goes from being teasing to being factual?
Like,
you know what I mean? Like,
Rashford goes back to England today and Newcastle scores 2 goals. And
Right,
like,
right.
His second goal was like an unreal goal.
it was a good goal.
And,
He-
like-
he looks refreshed.
It's just very awkward that like
Right, and then it's like you
Everybody-
can tell who the problem is. You know what I mean? If
Even,
like look at
uh,
Anthony last year, he was getting memed on.
Even,
goes to half a year in Spain, and it's like he's the player he was at Ajax that everybody wanted to buy.
Sancho played. And Aston Villa just played in the League Cup. They lost again. They lost in penalties. But
How has he been at
he
at
just played. That
Villa?
was his first game.
That was the first game.
But like
okay.
he played 60 minutes and he was very good.
It's definitely a United thing. Like I'm sorry to tell you this, Mario, but like
And
your
it's
club
just-
is toxic. Like
It's just like you think of the stuff that's going on there. Like I don't know.
right. But this is why I always said like this is what happens when you treat a team like a PR or like a company instead of a team. You know what I mean? Like you do everything for marketing purposes or for PR purposes or for stock
Wait
purposes.
till Garnacho scores for Chelsea
they're
against United this weekend. He's gonna run down
gonna
the whole
burn
highline.
down that stadium.
like
Oh my
Adebayor
God.
did against Arsenal all those years ago for City. But
It's looking rough for United though. Like it doesn't seem very hopeful. And then it's like, let's say they do fire Amorim. Who goes in to fix that? You know what I mean? Who can possibly fix the dumpster fire that is United right now? You know what I mean? Maybe a Klopp, but I don't think he would ever.
so I don't think Klopp would go. I don't know who would be willing to.
Right. Because like at
Take
this
that.
point, both for players and managers, it's too much of a risk for your career. You know what I mean? Amorim was the most sought after, one of the most sought after young coaches. After this, he'll be lucky to get like a Betis job or like an Espanyol or you know what I mean? Like maybe a Leverkusen.
So and then it's just like I don't know who has the authority to go there and try to revamp everything all over again, kind of
Right,
like Amorim
right.
did. But you look at it and it's like, is Amorim the problem or the players the problem? Is the director of football a problem?
I think it's a mixture of everything.
So,
All of the above.
I think everyone talks about Amorim's system like failing. I think they have the second most expected goals this year. They can't score a goal to save their lives right now. But something is working there. Does he have all the players for it? I don't know. Should he be winning a lot more games? 100%.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Like, there's
And
no
then, like,
reason.
I think his attitude also is
Correct.
Because I remember, what was it, Sunday or Saturday? I saw a clip of him being like, if you want me to change my ideas, then like find somebody else. Like I'll change my like rhetoric like that is gonna further divide at least the fan base. You know what I mean? Like
But I think that's kind of a shot to the
the board?
directors. Yeah, right. So like, you brought me in knowing that I play this way.
right. That's very true. Like it could be just a like
That
a
was
warning shot.
And that's kind of what like the problem before with Porto was they signed the Anselmi knowing that he plays with 3 in the back. You probably don't have the personnel to play 3 in the back.
Right.
And this guy can't win a game, and it's like,
Right,
well,
and you wonder
know,
why.
You
Right,
know,
and you
you
wonder
know
why.
this is the way I play. When
I
I'm
mean,
doing
like-
whatever interview, you know that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
exactly. Like
Right.
going back to United, when's the last time we played with 3 at the back before Amorim? Never. You know what I mean?
right.
Never. Like
But
ever
that's
since I
like-
was a kid, it's always been a 4-4 something. You know
But
what I mean?
that's like when I'm presenting at my interview, it's like, hey, these are my ideas, right? We're gonna play this way, this way, this way, and that's what we're gonna do. If you don't like it, you're gonna be like, oh, see you later, next candidate,
Right.
So I'm sure in whatever meetings they had prior, that was said.
I agreed, and I also think like it goes back to like maybe the culture at United because I feel like United. I could be wrong, and just as a Liverpool fan, I could just be projecting hate. You know what I mean? But like United, like when they sign players or they sign like comparing it to like Liverpool, you could be a baller, but if you're not like correct here, like they won't sign you. You know what I mean? That's what they did with the Mourinho too, because the Mourinho started to like do the circle jerk with West Ham and this and that. And we're like, you know what?
great.
You know what I mean?
They flew him
where,
out.
where United, I feel like they don't really care about like they'll hire a mercenary type player who's only there for the paycheck or like
Marseille.
right, you know what I mean, or like just ego, or you know what I mean. Like I feel like they need to. I would say that comes more from the board, like you were saying before,
Yeah, I
and
think
like the
that's
culture of the club currently, because for you to be the United that they were, you gotta have higher standards. You know what I mean? Both in your players, your personnel, everything. You know what I mean? Like the current setup is not going to do it, in my opinion.
Well, that's also, I think I've said it prior. I don't think they have like leadership in the squad.
Right. Or staff. You know what I mean?
Or staff, yeah.
Because like Amorim, you could say he's a leader, but like if nobody listens to him, who's he leading? You know what I mean?
He also he never went through. Sporting, he won his first year.
Yeah.
He took over mid-year.
Yeah.
And then his first.
He's had a very privileged career so far.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I was getting to. Like he never went through like, wow, we can't win a game. Like,
Right.
He never went through like banter era. Sporting,
Right. Exactly.
Like he didn't take over the
Like
year prior.
Right. Like he started even at what was it,
again,
Casapia? You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
he started
winning
running
games
and
winning
like
Braga.
that was a bigger team for the league that it was in. You know what I mean?
But
Same
even
thing with
with-
like Braga. You know what I
I was
mean?
gonna say even with Braga, he won the League Cup.
Right.
I think he beat Sporting.
I think it was Sporting.
So like, he's had success, and
Right, but he's never had.
he never got smacked in the face.
Right, exactly. And like United's definitely the place where that was going to happen. You know, and now it's just funny because like he became kind of a meme in England. You know what I mean?
So like, there's the picture of him when Bruno was taking a penalty to win against Burnley.
was that the one where he's like playing with the tactics?
No, that was when he got knocked
And
out.
everybody's
Over
like memeing him playing like tic tac toe.
No, the other one is like he has like his feet up on the thing and he just with his
Oh,
hands.
I saw that one too. I
But
saw
it's
that
like
one
Bruno
too.
taking the final pen and Bruno scores to win the game against Burnley, the only win. But it's just like I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah. I mean, I do and I don't.
I was gonna say I do and I don't.
you know, like he consciously made that decision. He
And
was
I'm
in a
not-
position when he left that he could have been like, nah, dude, like I'm gonna wait until the end of the year.
And I'm not a Sporting fan, so I guess I have a little less like
Vindication
towards him.
Right,
yeah,
right.
like, If I'm a Sporting fan, like you're
I
an
definitely
idiot.
feel some type of way about
Yeah,
it too.
you're
You know
like,
what I mean?
Like you had everything here. You would have won the
you
league.
just beat City 5-something or 4 whatever
You
it
would have won the
was.
league easily, and you
Dude,
decided.
honestly,
to
if he had stayed, I think they would have walked the league.
Yeah,
Because
they
the
would've
only reason it
easily
even
walked
became
the
a race is because Juan Pereira lost 5 games in a row.
yeah,
you know what I mean?
You would have
Like-
walked the league, and it's like, well, that's what you kind of get.
Right, exactly. It's kind of like karma. You know what I
Like
mean?
for
Like
me, I don't really.
ego.
I have zero desire for that because like it doesn't bother me.
Right,
but-
of course.
And I would
That
like
makes
to see him
sense.
do well, but
And I would too, because like even Sporting aside, like I just like to see Portuguese managers and Portuguese players do well.
I kind of like, you know,
But,
like,
like-
it's United.
Right,
Like,
exactly. And then that's where like I had that conflict because it's like I want you to do well because you're Portuguese, but it's United. So like I hope you lose every game.
But I
you know
do
what I mean?
think, in all honesty, I do think United, like being good, is good for the league and good for the championship.
I think so too. Agreed. Agreed.
Like you need.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love tanking on United
Yeah.
and like taking the piss and
Me
like
too. But
banter,
you need
but-
them in the Champions League. You need Old Trafford in the Champions League.
Right. These are historic. Right.
Like-
right. Agreed.
And then, like maybe not this United, but you need the
A good
like,
representation of United.
yeah to
right.
be in the league in the Champions League. It's just
Right.
very different.
Goes back to the whole culture thing. I feel like
Correct.
like we were saying about Benfica, like it's just a team without that like character anymore, or like that they lost their heritage in a sense. You know, and more drastic at United than at Benfica
Yeah.
by miles. You know what I mean?
100%.
But still, similarities are there. You know, like
I think they still have some rough go-aheads in their
dude, there's a lot that they need to fix.
no, but
To
even
even
like
get like on par. You
but
know what I
even
mean?
their future, like their next couple games, they're in some big trouble. Like they have Chelsea this weekend. Wow, they're already in 14th place. They have Chelsea this weekend, and they go away to Brentford, and then they have Sunderland at Liverpool, Brighton at Forest, at Tottenham, Everton at Crystal Palace.
Tricky.
Like I'm gonna stop going because I think he'll be fired by then. But
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah.
and maybe he's fired a little too late. Maybe that's who Benfica wanted.
Who knows? Maybe Mourinho does real bad, gets
That's
fired,
right.
and they bring in a Mourinho to finish off the year.
And it's just, yeah, like, I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to miss out in Europe again?
Right. Which for United would be unheard of. You know what I mean? When was the last time they lost?
years
2 years in a row. When was the last time that happened for United? You know, like, but like United currently, they're giving me the vibes of Liverpool in like 2013, 2014, where like even though Liverpool played well that year and almost won the league, like it was still full on banter era. You know
Like,
what I mean?
they couldn't get anything right.
Right. We replaced Luis Suarez with Mario Balotelli and Ricky Lambert up front.
Ricky
You know what I
Lambert.
mean? Like Charlie Adam and Adam Lallana, and like no disrespect to Adam Lallana. I love Adam Lallana, but like that's not the level
Of Liverpool.
Right. And now like United's in that same boat where the players that they need, same thing with like Newcastle, but for different circumstances.
Yeah.
The player level that they need, they can't attract nowadays. You know what I mean? And the only ones that will go of that level are the mercenary types. You know what I mean? They're only there for the paycheck or ego and
It's very hard to attract a player in this day and age with like not a big salary.
right.
And no European
no
football.
Europe. Right.
So
Those are two like dead.
yeah, you might
Dead
catch some
bolts.
of these guys who like the money more than they want.
Right. Or you get lucky.
You
You catch somebody who like needs rejuvenation in their career
Correct.
or something. You know what I mean? But like. United should not be at the level where they need to
well,
rejuvenate
I was gonna
people's
say, do
careers.
they
You
want
know
to
what I
take
mean?
chances on people rejuvenating their career?
Right.
Like that's what they kind of did to Sancho. Like Sancho's rejuvenating his career and he's going everywhere else.
And it's just crazy, like the United effect, because Sancho at Dortmund was probably the best young footballer in the world at one point. You know what I mean? And then goes to United, falls off a cliff.
Well, that's I think the level in the German league is so much different. Than
Right, but he was also playing well for England
That's
during
true.
that time.
That's
You know what I mean? Or even in the Champions League.
That's true.
Like, I don't know if it was like the change of system. Maybe it was just the change of culture. Not the English culture, but like United to Dortmund. You know what I mean? Because Dortmund feels a lot more familial, and United feels a lot more transactional.
Well,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Well, and especially at this day and age, I don't think there's anything like united about United.
Right.
No pun intended, but
only their stockholders.
well, yeah, but it's like when you used to look at what Ferguson was and like Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez. Like,
Right.
They were always like hanging out and messing around and like.
You could tell there was the unity was there amongst the players
Yeah,
and amongst.
Ferdinand and Vidic
Right.
and like there, everybody was. You couldn't do anything to United without another player coming up to you. And,
Right,
like,
you had Roy
getting
Keane in
his
your ear or.
Scholes.
Right,
and, like,
right.
There was always something going
But
on.
now there's none of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The closest they have is what? Maybe Bruno? You know what I mean?
That's
And like
like-
even Bruno is. Like, I don't like Bruno. Just personality-wise, like, he just irritates me. You know what I
then,
mean?
like,
Like, he's a
Bruno
baller, but he
Bruno
irritates
does something,
me.
and then like people just complain about it. Like,
Right,
he's
right.
too emotional.
Right.
And I think that's
But, like, they don't have, like, I would say Bruno's probably the closest that they have to a player of that, like, stature that they used to be
100%.
filled with. In every position used to have a player like that.
he's the only player. Let me make sure. He's the only player I think on that team that can go and play still at a top club.
I think so, too.
Like he could
Right,
leave
right.
and still play at another.
And be, like, at least, like, if not, like, a full-on starter, like, then and thereabouts. You know?
like everybody else. The current United's probably the level that they should be at,
Which is not a high level.
which is not
Right.
high level.
But, yeah, I agree with that.
Which is like a borderline.
And that's like
European
sprinkled throughout. Like it's bad when Diego Dalot's one of your best players. You know what I mean?
And,
And, like
like,
no disrespect to Diego
'cause Mio
Dalot,
still stars.
but right,
You know,
yeah. the levels aren't there. There's definitely been a drop off. I love to see it personally because I just love to hate. You know what I mean? But I do agree with you that like the world of soccer does need like the institution that was Man United,
correct.
to come back. You know what I mean? But at the
think
same
it-
time, like they're gonna fumble. I'd rather another team who's like doing things the right way ascend to that level. You know what I mean? Like why not a Brighton? You know what I'm saying? Like to become the new, like
it's. I mean, like Spurs in the last 20 years have definitely changed. Like we go crazy on Daniel Levy, but what Spurs were before he got there,
yeah,
and what he left them as,
1,000%, right.
is like a 360.
I'll never forget the quote by Alex Ferguson where he's like, "Lads, it's Tottenham."
It's Tottenham. Yeah, it's like
and like nowadays, it's like, "Lads, it's United."
yeah,
Like,
right.
You know what I
They
mean?
kinda
Like,
flipped. But like Spurs, they were always a like not a good team. Like they were,
Right,
they
right.
were like kind of a
they
joke,
weren't. They were
right?
regular mid-table.
And like people bash him. He's built this stadium. He's gotten Spurs in consistent top six.
I mean, he forced his way into the Big Six. You know
Correct,
what I mean? Because
right?
before it was the top. Remember, it was the Big Four.
And I will
then
never-
little by little.
I'll never say that he was like awesome at what he did because I think there was so many years that Spurs could have been a lot better in what they did with
Agreed. Gareth Bale money was terrible.
Bale money
right.
was just a disaster and set them back years and years
Right.
back. But like
Arguably, like I would say Liverpool would have been the same thing if they didn't get Klopp. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Klopp is what
Well,
saved
they
that
missed.
club.
They missed on a bunch of coaches, and then they missed on those 6 signings they made with Bale.
Right.
And then they got it together and made it to the Champions League final. Like, when would you ever think Spurs would make it?
Never in my life.
Like,
that whole season, I was convinced it was going to be Liverpool Ajax in the final.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That semifinal should not have happened the way it happened.
They scored
you know
2
what I
goals
mean?
at the end
Lucas
of the game.
Moura
Yeah,
saved
Lucas
their
Moura.
lives. You know what I mean?
And it's like even the final, like Liverpool scores a penalty early, and the game was like balanced.
Right. Until Origi scored it.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
he
like they
scored it.
lost their will.
But it's like we often talk about clubs that change like that, and we blame everything on a coach or a president, and it's like if you look back, you take a
picture,
step back,
right.
right? Like, what has Daniel Levy done? He's done a lot.
Right.
He's done a lot.
Yeah,
right?
no, I totally agree with that.
are-
They were a laughingstock before.
Correct,
You know what I
and
mean?
like-
You would look at Spurs, it'd be like the same way you would look at like an Everton.
And
you know
I
what
mean, it's
Like,
still like funny that they fired Ainge after he won the trophy, like and,
Spurs things.
and like Daniel Levy leaves after they won the trophy, and it's just
cursed. You're not supposed to win trophies.
Correct, but like when we look at like the body work that he's done,
Still crazy that like
he's a
the
top
moment Kane leaves, they start to win trophies too.
that's
like,
also
it's crazy.
Yeah, Kane kind of,
Crazy.
which sucks. And I never was a fan of him leaving. I think he should have stayed.
I get
at
why
least
he did leave.
100%.
Right.
But like if he stayed another year, he would have broken the Prem record. And it sucks. that
But
he
I
leaves
do
like
get
that.
why, because like records can be broken. You know what I mean? But like winning a championship cannot be broken. You know what I mean? So I get why he left and wanted to win something in his career. Because like that's a crazy like tease of a career to be like.
Well, the year before he was supposed to go to City.
Huh?
He was supposed to go to City. the year before.
Right.
And if he went there, I mean, he would have won whatever he won.
You would have won the treble probably.
It was the year after, yeah,
Right.
when they signed Haaland. But I think it's just weird. Like, you think of Spurs, you kind of think of Harry Kane. Like this.
Right.
Think of Bale.
Son
Son now he is gone.
scored his first hat trick in LA.
Yesterday, right? But when you think, and then like, I still don't think of like Harry Kane on Bayern. Like sometimes I'm like,
Right,
oh,
like
he's
it's
still-
for me too. Like
He's
it just
like,
doesn't
wow, he's
compute
there.
in my brain. Right, like it just seems so like
like every time I think of Bayern, I
out
still
of
think of
place.
like Robin, Ribery.
right.
Lewandowski.
Harry Kane.
And it's like,
Right.
yeah, well,
One
this
of these
guy-
things is not like the
Yeah,
others.
this guy has 100 goals already, and you don't even remember.
And I think you said it perfectly. I think that's the main reason why he left Spurs, because it's like the dude just scored 100 goals and nobody cares. You know what I mean? Like nobody will remember, or like
Well, and that's kind of where they're like, oh, this guy's like ring chasing, like he won a trophy,
Right.
and like nobody cared.
right,
Like he won the league, and nobody cared.
So it's like, can you blame the man? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
And then, I mean, he kind of missed a penalty in England's biggest moment.
yeah,
So I mean, he kind of still has.
Harry Kane things.
Yeah, right.
The curse persists.
So, but
You have to cop out to Germany, which is like a cheat code. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to win trophies. It's like being like, I want to win a trophy, so I'm gonna go to France and play for PSG. You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like,
it's
there's power to
interesting.
him. I mean, like you still have to be a top level player
You
to
have to,
hold
right?
a position. You know what I mean, for a club like Bayern. So not to discredit Harry Kane, but yeah, I totally see what
I
you're
love
saying.
Kane.
Though,
I think he's awesome. I think he's one of the best of his of this generation
in terms of strikers.
in terms of
Yeah,
strikers.
agreed.
And I think early in his career, it's kind of a little disrespected in terms of like his build-up and what he
I mean,
was
1,000.
doing.
People were calling him a one-season wonder for
Yeah.
8 years. You know
And
what I
then
mean?
like now people were talking about it in his game yesterday, like what he does off the ball and the way he still defends.
Right, super
and,
intelligent player.
like,
Like,
he
he
can-
knows his positioning.
Correct.
He knows when to
He
run.
creates for other
what
people.
angle to run.
And
how to
it-
draw players.
And it doesn't happen with like just a regular poacher. Like
Right, agreed.
when you talk about
That's
overall player, he's
right.
a better overall player than Erling Haaland is.
Right,
Is he a better goal
right.
scorer?
Because
I
like
don't know.
I would say, right, because like Erling Haaland is super focused on that one job of just get the ball into the net.
If you
know
get
what I
Erling
mean?
Haaland the ball outside of the box, like what is he good for?
Right. He's gonna pass it off and run in, or
Well, is he going to even pass it off? Like, because he
that. Right. That's
can he
true,
control the ball, pass?
too.
Right.
Right.
All you want him to do is, and he does it excellently, is stay in the box and header or score a goal.
Right. Which he
And
does
that's-
phenomenally.
And that's what
right.
he's supposed to do, right?
Right. And he
But when
does
you
it
talk
well.
about like overall players, I think Harry Kane's a much better player than.
Yeah,
than
I could see
Haaland.
that.
And too
Maybe
often,
not as lethal as like
No.
just by average.
Yeah, I don't think he's a better goal scorer because Holland just scores 100 goals
Ridiculous.
a year. But, like,
Right. Cyborg.
Harry Kane does literally everything else.
Right. As well as scoring
And too many
100 something
people
goals.
like often get offended by that or like take it the wrong way, and there's nothing like.
Right, but a lot of people also have like recency bias and like forget the player Harry Kane was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, and they only see like the newest model. You know what I mean? Like, which currently I would say is like Erling Haaland or like Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just the new current model. Speaking of the new current model, what's his name? Matsuado, the new Argentinian kid who plays for Madrid,
Yeah.
balled out. He
played
looks
well.
good.
Played
Looks
well.
good.
Madrid didn't look too good.
No.
They also got a red card.
Trent got hurt.
Trent's hurt for a couple months, I think 2 months. Might miss the return to Liverpool.
Oh, luckily for him, because just imagine that homecoming he would have get.
Yeah.
Because like,
I think it would be mixed.
yeah, I mean like, I would say overall consensus from like the Liverpool base, he's a rat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
most people,
I see
most
it.
people have that view instead of like, oh, he's a loyal servant and this and that, and like. On the face of it, Liverpool will never say it, but you can like if you read like the subtext, I kind of feel like they feel like that too. Because like if you look at his departure tweet that they gave for him and versus like Kwanzaa, you know what I mean?
A random player, right?
Right, like they gave Kwanzaa or like Harvey Elliott gave him like a heartfelt message, and for Trent it was like, well, yeah, he's a Madrid player now, peace, essentially. You know what I mean? Like
it was very different. Like Trent is one of the best players in the world at his position.
He also should have been a one club man. You know
He
what I
was
mean?
the vice captain of the team, and he's.
He would have gotten a trophy at the end of his career if he stayed at Liverpool.
He's a Liverpool
it's the
fan,
same
born
with
in-
like Coutinho. You know what I mean? Coutinho also would have gotten a statue outside of.
But
Anfield.
Coutinho saved Liverpool.
Yeah, 1,000 Bernie saved Liverpool. 1,000. This is why like you'll never catch one Liverpool fan bad mouthing Coutinho ever.
Coutinho saved Liverpool both like what he did that season and then getting
And then
sold.
financially, right.
Getting sold.
He's what funded Allison and Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, and that's what changed them in the last 5-6 years.
Right. It was. I would say the big three of the signings, not including Salah, because Salah is just a given. You know what I mean? I would say it was Allison, Van Dijk, and Fabinho. They all came in the same season.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
They all
And that drastically
turned around.
changed everything. Because the year before that, I think that's when they got Salah. Was the year before, and we lost in the Champions League because of Karius when he passed the ball to Benzema. So I think from that point forward is like when it truly like you said transformed the team. You know what I mean?
What do you
Shout out Coutinho, thanks.
What do you think of this weekend? Liverpool plays Everton.
I mean, Everton's been looking solid. You know what I mean?
They've been
Like,
a lot better than they were last year.
Right.
And they've been a lot better than I thought they were going to.
Right, agreed. Because like Everton to me, just as like a Liverpool fan with a superiority complex or whatever, but like Everton's that type of club where like I feel like when you think of Everton, you think of like it's a shit club. You know what I mean?
But like that game doesn't matter how bad Liverpool is or how
never
bad
matters,
Everton,
right.
The game is always close.
that I would say that's like one of the purest like derbies, at least in England, because it's like you said, it doesn't matter. Form doesn't matter.
Always close.
Right. It's because at the end of the day, they hate each other.
Yeah.
Those clubs. You know what I mean? So like,
You think of like
it doesn't matter who's better. It just comes down to it. You know what I mean?
Wasn't Coleman? It was another one of their wingbacks who scored a banger in like the 96th minute a couple years ago.
Was it what was it? Barnes? No, Baines.
Baines, Leighton
Right.
Baines probably. And then you remember Pickford off the crossbar and
Yeah,
ODG
I
scored.
remember that.
Like
I
all
remember
these crazy late winners in that derby, and again, like
It's definitely a fireworks. Kind
Everton has not been good in
my whole lifetime.
dude, like no, but when they had like Cahill and Pinar, they were like
They
decent.
were okay, right?
You know, and
even
Fellaini.
with David Moyes, they were okay.
Yeah, like when they were David Moyes' first tenure,
solid mid-table.
they were like an eighth team.
And that's always been like their level, I would say.
But like you never wanted to play Everton because it was like a tough game, right?
It was always a dirty game.
Yeah.
Not dirty in the sense of like they played dirty, but just dirty as in
It was
like
a nasty.
you're gonna go through the mud in
Correct.
this game.
And it's
Kind of like
like-
the way like was it Burnley with Sean Dyche? No, who was it? Burnley?
It was Burnley,
It
yeah.
was Burnley. Same type of thing. You know
But
what I
it
mean?
was like what
a rainy
they
night in
were.
Stoke. You know what I mean? Like
What they were those years and what they are the last 4 years is very way opposite of the spectrum.
right.
And like all those years, Liverpool still struggled to beat Everton like
Yeah.
convincingly. Like,
Right,
it's
right.
always very, very close.
It doesn't matter if like Liverpool's the best team in the league at that point,
Yeah.
or I agree with that.
And like you look now, and I think it's gonna be a really good game.
So now let me ask you, because like we opened with Liverpool looking shaky in every game so far. How do you feel like it's going to go this weekend
I think Liverpool.
as an outsider?
I just think, I mean, every game at Anfield, I always think Liverpool's gonna win, and I think that's just,
Valid. Yeah, that's valid.
I don't think, which is weird. They're not playing well, but I don't think they're like. To me, they don't come off as like worried. Like
right.
no one-
I
no one
haven't
seems-
gotten that either.
No
right.
one seems frustrated. No one
right.
seems bothered.
I
Yet.
mean, like the closest like warning sign to that, I guess, would be Kirk's Kirksey's at the weekend. Was it at the weekend or was it at
was the
Atletico where he got hauled off in like the 32nd minute?
It was the weekend.
It was the weekend. Like that's probably like the closest.
But it's like you never and I guess we don't know because they haven't dropped a point yet. Like maybe in their first draw you'll see some frustration come out.
Right.
If they're not playing well.
And a lot of it, I would say too, is like still getting used to the new players that are there.
Yeah,
They've had the same core of players for like 7
What
years.
are they bringing? 5 players?
More.
1, 2,
Maybe 5
3.
starters.
Yeah, I'm saying like
Yeah.
starters for sure. 4 or 5.
They bought
5,
just
6.
just keepers. They have like 3 this year
Yeah.
that they got. You know what I mean? Like,
But
so a lot of that too, because a lot of people also don't fully realize that, like the dynamic shifts in the locker room. You know what I mean? Just around. So like it could be getting used to. Look at the shift change, the vibe change when like Jordan Henderson left. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like the complete 180, and like Liverpool looked like Vibes FC after that. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe that's part of it for why they don't look fully at their best. But like you said, they don't even look worried. So maybe they just realize like we know we're good enough. These are just growing pains. We'll get through it.
Like,
You know
we'll
what I
be
mean?
there. And again, it could change. Like when we see them drop, they're not going to win every single game.
Right,
Like, that's
right.
just
Or
not
like
gonna
it could even change with like an injury. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like one linchpin player, like Rodri at Man City. Like they became a shadow of the team
Yeah.
that they were. You know what I mean? I don't think Liverpool has a player that they're so reliant on to the same level as like Rodri. Maybe Van Dijk. You know what I mean? But even when Van Dijk got injured, what was it like 2 years ago when he was injured the whole year? Still solid enough defensively.
But
You
right,
know,
with the
But-
team that they have right now, if Van Dijk gets hurt, they're in trouble.
Right, I think so too. Because like, I feel like there's no cover since Guehi didn't come.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
not enough cover.
I don't think
defensively. Maybe
they'd be-
Robertson can play maybe central
They'd
defender,
have to
but
put in
like
the young Italian kid.
right.
into the fire.
But and like for me, like for that, you might as well just kept Kwanzaa. You know what I mean? Because Kwanzaa, maybe he's not at the level currently that you need for Liverpool. He's a solid player with a huge ceiling, a tall ceiling.
I think that was the idea was like we got to move on from him and get Guehi. But again, and then like these teams wait so long, like they wait. till
Right, that's
last
the
2
thing
days
too, and like I get that, like a lot of it is like outside things, fees and like
Correct.
agents,
And you kind of want to
family.
pressure these teams until the end and like maybe lower a fee.
Right,
And, like,
and I think that's definitely Liverpool. That was Liverpool's plan with Crystal Palace.
but then like you
but
run
then
into
it
the
blew
risk.
up.
Exactly, you run into the risk of it not
right,
working.
because then like the player they were after, I forget his name, but he failed the medical, and then there goes that. You know what I mean?
But look at this. Last year, Liverpool wins 1-0 at Anfield. Ties
Against Everton?
Yeah, ties 2-2 away. The year before, loses to Everton 2-0, wins at Anfield 2-0, wins 2-0, ties 0-0, wins 2-0. And then this is the one time
you
that
can never like
they
accurately
won
guess.
comfortably was 2021. They won 4-1 at Goodison Park. Henderson, Salah, and Diogo Jota. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But like, and then Liverpool loses to Everton that same year.
Right,
In
you
Anfield.
can,
like-
it's probably like the one game in the Prem that you just can never accurately guess what's going to
and
happen.
I'm sure in all these years, if we look back, Everton didn't stay top half of the table in any
No
of those,
shot,
those
no
last 5 years.
way, no way.
So, like-
not even 12. You know what I mean? Like
So like, it doesn't matter how bad they are.
Right.
It's weird because
warrior mentality, I guess, because it's like
It's
sometimes
just-
like pettiness and hate will drive you to great things.
you
You know what I
just-
mean? Like
they just go through everything.
right, because like Everton would like the hate for that Everton has for Liverpool would be like they would rather lose to like and get relegated and stop Liverpool from winning the league.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Instead of like
It was like the Spurs City game when Arsenal.
right, exact same thing.
Son misses
Exactly.
a sitter, and then like
Exactly.
City wins, and like, oh wow, that was the end of it
Right.
for Arsenal.
Right. And like, yeah, it sucks for Tottenham, but Arsenal's not champions, so like we'll live. You know what I mean?
And
Like
it's always funny, like you see the reactions of the fans outside, like, oh yeah, we'll take the loss, like as long as Arsenal's not champion.
one thing
right.
like I do hate about this current Arsenal is I miss Arsenal fan TV. Like that era of Arsenal banter was just unmatched.
After a draw to like the 17th place team,
Unmatched.
like-
Oh man.
or like they would have like 30 shots and they would lose 2-0 on like
yeah.
2 random
Love
shots.
it. Love it.
And they were everybody.
I love
was
it. And I mean, I guess we'll end with that because it's 9 o'clock. That's been all our time. We ended up dunking on United way longer than we thought, but this tends to happen every time. It's just the two of us.
Yeah. I think
We just start
too much United hate.
right, but
Too much United hate. Too much Benfica hate.
right, and I would say definitely United hate, but like because we want to see them do well too, because it's good for the sport. You know what I mean? And it's just fun to like dunk on United right now, especially when Mario's not here to like defend them.
Can't
you know
defend
what I mean?
himself.
And
Neither-
Rui's not
and
here to
Rui can
defend
defend
Benfica,
Benfica,
right?
yeah.
Or Arsenal.
Yeah. That's
So it works. You know what I mean? We take it while we can. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
So yeah. All right, guys. thank you again for being with us. It's been a pleasure. We'll be here again next week with more yapping about soccer, about the Champions League, about everything.
About Liverpool.
Definitely about it. I can't stop yapping about Liverpool.
That's
It must be
true.
annoying to our viewers. All right, guys, be safe.
Take care.
Enjoy your night. Ciao.